Bonjour, bonsoir. It is me. I know I haven't made a video in like a day or two. I know I haven't really made like a whole lot of videos this week. I know I made some, but there's been a couple of days in a row where I just kind of haven't done a whole lot. And yeah, I know I haven't really been super inspired lately. And I don't really want to make like videos if I'm just not really feeling it, you know? I want to make sure like the content that I'm making is actually something that I like feel, you know, strongly about. You know, I don't want to just like pump out like content that just has no real meaning, which is ironic because this video really doesn't have any meaning, but this one feels more intentional, I guess, because I wanted to make something that's sort of like just a hangout kind of video. I know I've done that in the past, and I know those videos don't really perform very well, but that's okay because I know there's people out there that enjoy it. And it doesn't always have to be about views, you know, like if there's like my core audience out there, they enjoy it, then that's all that really matters to me. Because I like to be there for people, you know, and like have like a routine and like a schedule of videos, you know, because I know people, you know, look forward to this stuff, you know, as do I with creating, you know. I look forward to making videos like every day, because I think when your life is kind of like uncertain and you're in a weird space in your life or weird phase in your life, it's just some things can keep you like really grounded. And I guess I would say that I'm like in a pretty transitional phase in my life, and I think that this channel has like kind of found me, and it's like kind of keeping me balanced, I think, because there's like a lot of things changing in my life, and it's just like something that I can always kind of count on, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, but with that being said, yeah, this is gonna be kind of like a hangout video. It's a Saturday night. It's almost 9 o'clock. Just had some dinner. I'm sitting here drinking a beverage, an adult beverage. So if you do that as well, maybe join me, but if not, don't start, because it's something that you shouldn't start if you don't. But it's not like I do it like all the time. Like I only maybe drink like maybe once a month. But yeah, I have obviously, yeah, I did get a haircut, if I haven't already said that. But yeah, fragrance of the day, Instant Crush by Mancera. But it's weird because like I haven't worn this for a while, and then today when I put it on, I noticed two things. At first, I noticed that there was a scratch out of the label here. That's kind of disappointing because, you know, I want the bottle to be intact, and now it's kind of just like diminished a little bit. But also, when I remember when I used to wear this like back in the day, not really, but like I haven't worn this for probably like maybe 6 months. But the last time I wore it, I remember it being very strong and very like sharp, and there's like a screechy kindness to this at the start, and it kind of lasted for a while, and I kind of liked it. But now it seems more tame. It's not very scratchy and super strong. It's more just goes straight to the sweetness, which is fine, but it almost makes me kind of like it a little less. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, I mean, it still smells the same, but it's definitely not as strong as I remember it being. And also another thing, some of the atomizers on my bottles, why do they always kind of get tarnished around the collar there? Does anyone else have that other problem? I can't speak today. Does anyone else have that problem? I cannot speak. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna light some lighting here, just because. you can't really see it, but well, it's there. You must know it's there. Also, this is a fragrance channel, but do you guys like incense? I have this cool incense holder that my father gave me. It's always been around in my life, and he just gave it to me one day. But yeah. Just leave that there. The smoke will get in my face the whole video. Something about like a black light. I have a black light on right now. You probably can't even tell really, but there is one in front of me. But like the mixture of a black light and incense burning with like candles and stuff, it's always like been really, it's like a nostalgic feeling to me. But yeah, I always like having that stuff going at the same time. And tonight would be a perfect night for that. But yeah, my haircut, I needed one. I usually only get my haircut like maybe twice a year. But there's always like that week period where you just like don't like your haircut. And I don't know. I put a lot of my identity into my hair. And when it's kind of changed, I just kind of feel strange, and I just kind of feel like I'm losing a part of myself, you know? But it's really not that deep, you know? It grows back in like a freaking month anyways, and you can't even tell you got a cut. I don't know. I've just always been really particular about my hair. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like that agree with that statement. Or you might not have hair, and that's fine too. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I'm not really doing much exciting things. I haven't really made like a video, and I always kind of lose like that like talking in front of the camera flow. Like especially right now, I'm just having like a hard time like talking, even though I've made like 100 freaking videos. I'm just like a normal dude, I guess. I don't know. I don't have like that. Like I don't have like the internet cult like content creator like voice. I don't know how to like even pretend to do it. Like I can't even like I wouldn't even try because it just seems so weird. But hey guy, like I can't do that. But yeah. The scent of this incense, I'm pretty sure it's just Nag Champa. That's pretty much like my go-to, or just like regular patchouli. Those two are, they kind of just always remind me of my childhood, and that's kind of why I always am lighting it. But that's also kind of why I'm like obsessed with like patchouli fragrances and finding the best one, because I'm looking for the best patchouli scent so I can kind of always have that like this one that I'm going for like to spray all the time. But I haven't been able to find like what I'm really looking for. Maybe I don't even think I ever will. Honestly, it might not even exist. But yeah, I don't know if I showed this in a video yet, but I might have. But I know I've mentioned it in my video of liking it on women. But I bought this the other day. I might have showed this already, but I'm not really sure. But vanilla musk essential oil, Nimat. I got this from Ulta. It smells really good. I might just put some on me actually. This stuff is like super oily. You see that? Look at that shine. Super freaking shiny. But yeah, I've actually I've been using this quite a bit, and it's really hasn't gone down much. But I will say, I put this on my wrist the other day, and my wrist started breaking out into a rash, so that's not a good sign. But we're gonna do it anyway, so fuck it. I spent money on it, who cares? My fragrance that I ordered for my 1,000 subscriber milestone, it is coming in the mail on Monday, and I am so excited. I cannot wait. So on Monday, you can expect me making a video opening that. Unless, of course, it doesn't show up, and then I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Because I am so excited, and I spent a lot of money on this fragrance. This is honestly probably the most expensive fragrance in my collection. Well, I'll say it is the most expensive fragrance in my collection that I personally bought. I have fragrances in my collection that are probably about the same, but I don't think I paid for them somehow. But yeah. And then once I do that, I'm gonna be ordering some more samples. But I'm gonna get them off of, I can't even remember. I'm not gonna use micro perfumes. For some reason, I just really didn't like that experience. I don't know. I'm gonna go through a different company this time. But yeah, I have all my, I don't know if I showed this yet, but I have all my samples in this little organizer here. Maybe one day I'll go through and just show all of my samples, just because I know I've probably showed a lot of them in my videos already, but I think it might be funny just to make a video of me going through all of them. But yeah, tomorrow, getting some dinner with my friends I haven't seen for a while. What did you do this weekend? If nothing, that's fine too. It doesn't always have to be a real event going on the weekends. It's just nice to have a couple days off work and relax and just not really worry about anything. And then you have to go back to work, so. But I think it's important, I will say a few things about jobs, but because I have a job interview actually on Monday, and I won't say what it is yet, because if I get the job, then I'll be happy. If I don't, I'll be upset. But it makes a lot of sense as to what this job interview would be. So maybe you can guess what it might be. But I will say, if you're working a job that you might think is maybe not appropriate for you, whether that be because you think you're too old for that type of career, or you think it's just something you're not really suited for, it's just not in your personality to be doing something like that. The most important thing about a job, I think, is if you're able to sustain your life and your family. That's really the only thing that matters. I mean, I don't think what you're doing per se really matters. And the most important thing is if you're happy doing it, because you could get the best job in the world and your life is so miserable and you quit in a month, but you're making so much more. But then you have another opportunity where you're doing something you enjoy, but it pays not very good, but you stay there for many years. Which one was more beneficial to you, Obviously the one that you enjoyed, because you didn't hate your life doing it, but also you worked there long enough to actually make some freaking money. A lot of the times when people I know take really good paying jobs, it's always something that they're totally miserable doing. Why would you want to do that at all? I get that the money is an important thing, but it's I don't know. And in jobs, they just have such a big effect on your life. You have to go to sleep at a certain time, you have to get up at this time, and then you get off work and you're so dead tired you can't even enjoy your time off, and then the only time you really are even functioning and feeling okay is when you're at work, and then when you're off you're completely miserable, and then you're looking forward to your 2 days off on the weekend. It's just or whenever you get them off. I don't think you should live your life just freaking waiting for 2 days off, maybe I'm out of touch and whatever, but I've never been like that with jobs, man. I've always been able to sustain myself. I might not be rich, but your quality of life is much more important than money, in my opinion. But I also have a careless, you know, vision on money, but I don't know. That's just me though. I'm just having a lot of things on my mind recently about like careers and just money, and I don't know. It's all just weird. It's kind of why I said I was in like a weird point in my life, because it just kind of feels like everything is changing around me and people are coming in and out of my life, and it just feels like very strange. It kind of feels like something's about to happen, you know, and like that's kind of why weird things in life start to happen, when something big is about to change in your life. And one thing I'll say about job interviews though, I might have mentioned this before, but like I know there's always like a lot of stress going into job interviews, but why are you stressed? You know, like they need you, you know, they need you more than you need them. But also it's like you're always like really worried about going into this freaking interview, but then when you get there, it's just like you're just talking to someone, you know, and if they're asking you questions, they're not asking you questions to like trick you and like, oh, we'll see you, like you didn't answer that right now, you can't get the job, you know, like they're genuinely just curious, are you going to be a good fit for this job? And if you're not, then they're going to be like, okay, well, we'll be in touch, and then they don't call you back, you know. It's nothing personal, it's just like you just probably didn't fit there. But and like that was kind of something that was always like a big freaking deal to me when I was younger, is I would always go into job interviews and be so like terrified of like just having to talk, you know. But I think it came from a place of me not really having a whole lot of work experience, so like I was afraid I was going to answer one of these questions wrong. But now I have like a lot of work experience, so like all these questions that are asked of me, you know, they're just kind of like, of course, like these are just obvious answers. Like, you don't even have to like lie about it, you know, or prepare really. You just kind of, yeah, just here looking for some work, you know. I have a lot of experience in this field, you know, I can do this, I I need this. You know, if something doesn't align with what they need, then they'll tell you, and can you adjust to that? And then if you can't, then they will just, sorry, you know, try again later when your life is different, you know. But the most important thing is just do something that you can stand, you know. I probably should have done like a live stream or something, you know. Like, I feel like this would be like a perfect time to go live. Maybe next week I'll do something like that. Maybe next Saturday or Friday night or something like that. But yeah, this is just kind of like a hangout video, nothing super serious. I know this is kind of a longer one now. I might have repeated a couple things. This is like my second attempt at this video, but I might have repeated something. So yeah, my bad. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go when I finish drinking this beer and listen to some music. I know I made a video recently about like the Criterion movies and stuff, and I know people like didn't really click on that. But like I said, like I just really like movies and like talking about movies and stuff, so I'm just gonna keep making like movie related content and books and music in the future. And yeah, views don't really matter to me. So anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching as always, and I shall see you in the next video, probably Monday. But until then, au revoir.